Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today I have some more plant chores to do. As I was saying, lately I don't know what is up with me. I feel like I am just constantly falling behind on plant chores, and so today I want to bite the bullet and just really get these plant chores out of the way. I feel like I always have something in my mind, like in the back of my head, that I want to do now. Before, I was like on top of my plant drawers, whatever I wanted to do, I was like trying to find stuff to do. Like I would just repot plants to see how they were doing, and now I feel like there's things that I need to do and it just kind of like builds up. So first thing I want to do is pot up this orchid into some leca. I feel like the roots are long enough now, and this leaf is also starting to get really wrinkly, which I'm hoping that I can counter that by putting it in leca to get those roots to absorb some water. But yeah, I'll show you guys an update on this and how that's been going. So over here I have my Splendid, which I do want to pot up into soil instead of pon now, just because I feel like in pon I don't really get much growth out of this. Like the last plant that I had of this, it's like the same exact plant with another propagation. I had it in pon and I let it dry out way too much, and with that plant a lot of the new growth came out really scraggly, and like I was having to help most of the leaves come out. And I featured this plant in a video a while back now. I think it was near like December or January, where I like talked about wanting to size this plant up, like wanting to have a big Splendid. And I feel like I've slowly given up on that goal, and so I want to reel that back in. I know it's possible, and I know you can, you probably can do it in pon, but I just don't feel like pon is the right medium for me. So I think we're gonna go with soil, and so I have that all set up. And then my little Choco, I think I'm also ready to pot this one up. It has had some amazing root growth, and I think this one is going to go into pon. But I'm not completely sure about, or no, actually this one's also going in soil, but we're gonna put it in no drainage, which is gonna be a fun experiment. I have had success with plants that aren't thirsty in no drainage, but I do have to have a really chunky mix, an airy mix. And I recently got a Solanum ulanum, I believe that's how you say it or pronounce it. I recently got one from Russo Plant Care, and his mix for that plant, you guys, is so freaking chunky. Like the perlite in that mix is literally asteroid sized, and so I like kind of want to mix some of that mix into this because I feel like it would do really well. And I feel like it's so hard for me to want to do drainage with any plant, really, because I don't have that many pots that I enjoy with drainage. And so I'm kind of just like a little bit stuck on what to do with that, because I don't really know, like it's hard for me to put a plant like this in like a pot that I have, because I just don't have that many. But yeah, and then I also want to repot my brother's luxuriance extravagance. I've recently been watching it like root up, and I don't have a pot for this. Yeah, not that I know of, but I do want to repot it, or maybe we can actually repot it in here. But I kind of wanted to give it to him in drainage, just because I feel like it might be a little bit easier, especially since it's rooted in mostly sphagnum moss. I definitely won't be able to put this in like pon or anything like that. So yeah, let's just get right into it. What do I want to do first? Let's do the orchid first, just because it's easiest. So oh wait, no, I'm gonna put it in here. So the orchid, I actually got this pot at a garage sale. I've been finding a lot of stuff that's like, what is this called? Green onyx. And I actually have like a thing back here. You guys probably can't see it because it's gonna be blurry, but it's a it's just like a big vase, and it's completely green onyx. But I do know that it was used back in the day, and so I'm expecting to find a lot. I think I found like 3 things that are green onyx now. This one isn't as good of quality, so I'm probably gonna just use this for plants. The only thing with this is I am planning on putting this pretty close to my grow light, and I don't know if green onyx can lose its color from like getting too much light, so that's something that I definitely want to look into. It being an orchid, I don't feel comfortable just sticking it in no drainage like this and putting it in leca, because I just feel like it's gonna be too close to the orchid's roots to really provide enough aeration. So I think we're gonna do this, and this cup fits perfectly in here, so it's like a match made in heaven. And I'm probably just gonna use this outside cup as the reservoir, and I don't want to put too much. Maybe I'll just treat it kind of like a soil plant, like I'll let it dry out instead of having like a consistent reservoir there. I'm kind of scared, to be honest, because I don't want to mess up this like orchid situation again. Here, I'll show you guys. So I've had it in this setup. It has a little bit of water down here, and then I just have some saran wrap over the top. The saran wrap also doubles as well. The main reason why I have the saran wrap up here is so that the humidity is being held, and I have this right up against my grow light, so the light is literally like right here, I would say. And so it's really gonna hold in that humidity and just like keep it from precipitating. I think that's the right word. It also doubles as a like stabilizer for this orchid because this orchid leaf is pretty heavy, and I feel like if I just put it in here by itself, it'd kind of like flop out. So it also doubles as that. But this is the setup that I've had it, I want to say like a month ago, maybe a little bit more, and it has grown some amazing roots. Hold on. So these are the roots that we're left with. Do you guys see how ginormous these freaking roots are? Oh my god, I love orchid roots. They're so freaking satisfying. So now we're gonna pot it up, and I'm really excited. I feel like it's gonna allow for a lot more rootage. I've only seen Acuna La Planta pot up his orchids in Lucca. I don't know that I've seen anyone else, but from what he said, I know that you're just supposed to keep the roots as separate from the reservoir as possible. And so I'm gonna try my best to do that. And I might even have to put some saran wrap on this one because of how, or maybe not actually. The pot, the heavy like green onyx might help to stabilize this. I just hope that this does well. Honestly, I don't want to lose this orchid. My boyfriend spent a lot on this orchid, and again, it just being such a meaningful gift, it was like the right time, and I just want orchids in my collection in general. I really do not want to lose this plant. I'm leaving some roots on the outside so that I can see them, see how they progress and things like that. And I do have some water on hand. Let me go get that. Oh my god, this is so perfect. It's hard to tell if that's okay. I might pour out just a tiny, actually, I'm not gonna do that. I really don't want any rotting going on. And I feel like right now it is a lot better to have a smaller reservoir rather than having a larger reservoir and dealing with rot. Okay, that shouldn't be that bad. But, oh, it looks so cute. I can't wait. I can't freaking wait. Look at this. Oh my god. Especially with the white flowers. Oh my god, the white flowers are going to freaking complement this pot so well. The only thing with my brother's like one leaf plant is I don't have a pot for it. So I have this, or this is the Solanum ulanum. I don't feel like I'm pronouncing that correctly, but this is the plant that I got from Russo Plant Care, and this is the pot that it's in. I also have it in a like cover pot, but I'm okay with parting with this cover pot. I found so much enjoyment in having this pot in my collection, but now that I don't really use it, it's kind of just like been on the back burner. And so I feel like my brother, like, oh my god, just looking at this together makes me want to do it so bad. I feel like it'll complement his plant a lot more, and I don't mind having this like completely out. It's kind of just like having like a no drainage pot around, so maybe I'll just leave that one without a pot. But now for my brother's plant, let's see how this thing has been rooting. I know it's not like massively rooted in here, but there is some rootage going on. Okay, that's mushy. Honestly, this plant was such a struggle for me to root, and the reason that it was is because I wasn't giving it enough light. Any time that I'm struggling with a propagation, it is because of light. Like no matter the situation, it always ends up being due to not having enough light. And I kind of assumed that it was because of no light or like less light, because of the fact that this doesn't have secondary roots. Maybe we'll pot it up in sphagnum inside of this pot, just so this pot is secured to this plant and I'm not like having this pot laying around. Yeah, as I was saying, anytime that I find myself struggling with a propagation, it's always light. It's always, actually that's not true. There was one case with my Solanum ulanum when I took a propagation of that one, that it was humidity, but it also could have been light. So it's kind of a mixture of both. And that is a terrarium plant, so it's kind of to be expected that it's going to be fussed about not having enough humidity. And this is still not tall enough, but I think we're just going to have to mound. Some of the moss over it. Don't ask me what we're going to do when it's in soil, because I don't know what to tell you there. But recently I've also been wanting to start foliar feeding all of my plants. The only issue I've been running into, well, one, I don't even have a freaking spray bottle to do it with because mine broke. Actually, I think before we get into this conversation, I think I'm gonna chop this bottom piece off. You guys can see where it was a seedling from here, and it's just kind of gotten really, really thick. And so we're gonna chop it right here. And let me get my callousing hormone as well to put over that. But yeah, as I was saying, I've been wanting to foliar feed for a pretty long time, like since the beginning of the summer, but I just haven't gotten around to doing it. And now that I'm kind of like, okay, maybe I should start doing it, I don't know when to do it, because if I do it during, like, let's say I do it when I wake up. When I wake up, I'm like just now starting to turn on my grow lights, and so, I'm scared that it's going to fry all of the leaves because I'm just now starting to get my lights on, and they're pretty close, especially on this shelf right here. They're pretty close to the grow light, and so I'm just kind of nervous for like burning and things like that, and I just don't know how you guys really go about that. Maybe I could do it like before I turn them on and then just turn my fan on and just sort of let the fan dry them off. I mean, they don't stay dry or stay wet for that long, if I'm being honest. Like, I have when I do like pest treatments and stuff like that, I've noticed that it kind of tends to dry out. Let me know if you guys foliar feed and you know how you do it, especially with like timing, and especially with my plants like near my desk. I can't really control the lighting there, and I don't want to just do it when it's like gloomy out or something. Like, I want to be consistent with it. So yeah, if you foliar feed, let me know how you do it. And if you don't know what foliar feeding is, it's feeding your plants through the leaves. So like, you fertilize the, like, let's say you make fertilizer water for the roots, you can also use that fertilizer water for the leaves. I'm not sure exactly what you can use. Like, I know Russo Plant Care or Tyler on Instagram uses kelp extract, and I also know that Charmaine has used like CalMag and stuff like that. I'm not really sure what I would use. I don't know how chemical fertilizers would be on the leaves, so I'm thinking I might just start with CalMag and see how that works. I do want to get some of Russo Plant Care's foliar feed, or not foliar, yeah, his kelp extract. What am I saying? And I've just been kind of waiting. I wish I still had my Super Thrive to like try it out, but I don't even know if kelp extract and Super Thrive are the same thing. I know Super Thrive does have kelp in it, but I just don't, I don't know. But I did give my Super Thrive away because I wasn't really using it, if I'm being honest, and it was gonna expire soon, so I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna give it to someone else who, or not soon, but it was gonna expire at some point, and I wasn't gonna use it up by that point of expiration. So I was like, why not just give it to someone else who's gonna use it a little bit more? But yeah, hopefully this grows in. I am gonna keep this near my window because that's where I have it. This was too big of a leaf to keep under my grow light, so it was kind of a good situation to have it near the window. But yeah, I'm really excited. I can't wait to see this grow into a big plant. I don't think I'm gonna give this to him until it at least throws out another leaf, or until I see some good root growth. Okay, next I think we're gonna do the El Choco, and I am planning on putting this on a pole. Oh my God, I'm really nervous, you guys. I'm just kind of scared to like move this out of here and then it just goes like horribly, terribly wrong. It is starting to throw out like growth points. So if you guys can see, there's one right here. You guys see this big thing right here? And then there's also one right here, which actually threw out a tiny, tiny, tiny leaf. Oof. I'm also thinking about chopping this because my friend wants a El Choco, and I know it's been on her wish list for a while. And so I think we're gonna chop it first. I'm thinking of giving her this lower leaf I know it's gonna, you know, go kaput soon, but I think that as it grows in, it might not be too bad. Also, I haven't sterilized my scissors in such a long time, so we're just gonna do that really quick. Again, I want to make sure that her plant survives. I did have a wet stick separated out for her, but that I haven't even been paying attention to those wet sticks, and I feel like it's gonna take a long time. And I'd rather, especially now since we're starting to come to that sort of closing point of the season, I want to, oh my god, these internodes. Okay, I see where I'm gonna chop. I want to make sure she has some insurance. Did that even chop? No, it didn't. Okay, there we go. Oh my god, okay. Hers definitely doesn't have a lot of roots, so I'm gonna keep it. Oof, oof. That's some really strong philodendron there. Oof. You guys, this is really strong. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this just to make sure it gets rooted up in time, and I also want to pot it up for her so that I can get it on a pole for her as well. So if you guys didn't know, I actually make my own moss poles, and this isn't a new like idea or concept. I actually got this the like lazy moss pole idea from Unplant Parenthood or Charmaine. I talk about her a lot on this channel, and that's just because I love watching her stuff, and she is one of those people that I'm like constantly waiting for an upload on YouTube. So if you guys do not watch her, go ahead and do that now. Okay, what am I doing? Where the heck is this thing? She has conceptualized a like way to like make moss poles that is really easy, like easy as in easy to take the plant out, easy to put together, and just overall a really clean and simple design, which is really like aesthetically pleasing as well. And so that's what you guys will actually see for a lot of my like moss poles. I don't use like nets or anything like that. I use like acetate like this for my moss poles, and I'll just kind of like put it in here like this, and then use a strap to sort of hold the plant to the moss inside. And so you guys will sort of see me put that together in just a quick second. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about it because I know I saw a comment a bit ago on like my moss poles and stuff, and I did make a video, but it's quite old, on like how I made it, and I guess it was just like really, it's also really outdated because I don't really use that way anymore. On Amazon, I ordered like a giant acetate roll. I think I ordered like the 0.7 if I'm correct. If I were to order it again, I think I'd go for the 0.9 or the 0.10, I think it is, just because the 0.7, I feel like the more rigidity, is that the right word? More the thicker the acetate, the better, I feel like, because then you are going to be left with a much sturdier plant. As long as you search up acetate, and I'll try and find the one that I have and I'll link it down below. You do not need the biggest size, trust me. I got the biggest size because I was like, oh, I don't know how big it is. I don't know if I'm gonna run out. Actually, now I want to show you guys so that you guys understand how much I'm talking about. Do you guys see me? This is the pole, or this is the acetate that I got, and you guys can see how much acetate is on this. Like, look, this is all acetate right here. I have not even put a dent in this thing. So please do not get the biggest roll unless you're gonna like share with friends and stuff, then of course. So if you are like thinking about doing that, just please be careful, because I severely underestimated how much that roll had, and here we are. I'm not gonna be having to buy acetate anytime soon. And right now I'll actually show you guys how I sort of put that together. I don't want this to be too tall because of how many roots are on this thing. Like, it's not gonna completely fill out this vessel, and so I think we're gonna have it like there. This is the size of perlite that Resale Plant Care gave me. Do you guys see this? He sold me popcorn. This is a whole piece of popcorn right there. Like, that thing is freaking huge. Technically it is popcorn, it's like lava rock popcorn. And for my fertilizing routine, I usually use the when I feel like fertilizing, I'll usually use the General Hydroponics Trio. I think it has like, it's like the Flora Micro, and then there's like another one. Don't remember what it is, but recently I've started to use it in a gallon, but before I had the gallon of water, I used to use it in here, and I would just fill this up. This is like 2 solo cups of water, so it's like 2 cups pretty much of water. I think that's how that works. I like pre-measured it, and I've just like consistently been putting in the same amount of each thing in here. And I have like droppers left over from like a waxing kit that I got, and I just put like 6 drops in here of each fertilizer, and just 6 drops, not 6 milliliters or anything like that. I never even used these measurements until I got the gallon. And now I can actually show you guys this. I have this gallon of water that I have been filling up, which has been super duper helpful when like I don't feel like fertilizing, and I don't have to like mix up a like small batch of fertilizer water. I can literally just like grab this and pour it. And did I even finish talking about what I use? No, I didn't. So I use the General Hydroponics Flora Grow series, which is like the 3 chemical fertilizers. And then I also use the Sensi CalMag. And then I also use mycorrhizae in my fertilizing water. When I pour the gallon water into here, I'll put the mycorrhizae in here as well. So it's not like going gross into the gallon, because I have noticed if I leave mycorrhizae in my water like sitting out for like a day or 2, it'll kind of get this weird like smell, and it'll kind of just like look really like nasty and stuff. So I try to use up this water as much as I can. And with that, I would say try and dilute it as much as you can, so like 25 to 50%. And what I mean diluted is like put half of what the label says, or a quarter of what the label says, just because you don't want to run the risk of over fertilizing, which I recently thought I did, but I'm not even sure that that's the case anymore. I'm just like really confused, and I feel like I always feel like I'm doing something wrong. Like I always feel like something is going bad. I always feel like I'm just not doing things correctly. And so I am still fertilizing, but I am just really focusing on like diluting it as much as I can. Like right now, the like most recent gallon that I filled up, I think I did like 5 milliliters, and like on the dropper it actually says the millimeters. So when I fill this dropper up, it's 3, and then I just did 2 after that. And I think before I was doing like 8 milliliters, which I think is what you're supposed to do according to the label. And so in like converting it, because on the label I think it says like teaspoons or tablespoons, and so I have to convert that to milliliters, and then figuring out like how much I have to put in there. I think I did dilute it a little bit, but not too much. And so I think that I'm supposed to put like 9 or 10 drops in there, and so I just went with 8. But if, again, do as I say, not as I do, I would recommend doing like 5 if possible, or even like going to 6. But you know, should I put some myco in here? I'm gonna put some myco in here. I haven't been doing that just because my fertilizer water usually has myco, but I think I'm gonna put some on there. If you don't know what myco is, mycorrhizae is a fungi, and it creates a symbiotic relationship with the roots out in nature, like in trees and stuff. People have found that mycorrhizae will create a symbiotic relationship with with plant roots. And so the myco will sort of help the plants find more nutrients and just give them more readily available nutrients. And the plant will provide the energy and like the light, and sort of like provide the leaves for the mycorrhizae. And so it's kind of like, it's not a parasitic relationship. It's more so, I should try and put this higher. Actually, I think I'm gonna pot this up first, and then we will put the pole in last. With indoor house plants, it can sort of help do the same thing. So mycorrhizae is really good if you don't want to like pH test your water. And if you didn't know, pH, an unbalanced pH, so if the, oh my god, can I speak? If the pH of your water is too high or too low, the plant will not be able to absorb those nutrients that you're giving it. So like right now I have my fertilizing water, but I have no idea what the pH of this water is. So it could be like a 4, and a 4 is a little bit off of what plants like. I think plants like a 5 or a 6, if I remember correctly. It's really important to provide a good pH balance to your plants so that they are getting those nutrients that they need. But with myco, I kind of find a little bit more leeway in that fact, just because I feel like the myco will be there to sort of break it down a little bit more, like break down the nutrients and stuff. There was another thing that I wanted to mention, but I don't remember. Oh, myco, from what I've heard, it needs a little bit of a period without any nutrients. So if you were just now starting to use myco, I would say try not to fertilize, because that's what activates, or I believe that's correct, that's what activates those mycorrhizae to really search for nutrients when there isn't any nutrients that are completely readily available, I believe. And I think even if it like feels nutrients there, it won't really activate. And so you sort of need, not activate, but there's a word for it, I don't remember, but and so it'll kind of awaken those mycorrhizae to really search out for nutrients for the plant. Okay, I also have some roots out to watch. They're right here. Hopefully you guys can see that. They're around here somewhere. Yeah, they're right there. So hopefully, you know, I have that area to sort of watch for how the plant is and stuff like that. And so as you guys just saw, I cut this, or this piece was too big for this plant. So now I have this strap, and I'm going to cut this into a strap so that I can hold this plant to the pole like this, sort of like how you would use the like green Velcro and stuff, like literally like this. And so what I do for that, or to make that strap, is I get a dry erase marker, and I will sort of measure it out, see where I want this moss bowl to be, and then I mark it. So I just made a line. There. And now what I'm gonna do is cut this one on this side, and then on this side I'm gonna cut it on the opposite side, so it'll create a buckle, and they'll sort of like interlock. So here is one side. Hopefully you guys can see that little split right there. So right on my finger. And then here is this side, which is on the bottom. And so when I go to like snap it on, it'll interlock like that. And usually what I'll do, like for example, if I was strapping this around the pole, is I'll like invert it so that these flaps are on the inside and not the outside. And it'll be a lot more flush, so it'll literally just be like this, and so you won't have any like flaps sticking out. It's like on the inside, if that makes sense. I'm hoping that I explained that well, but hopefully you guys get what I mean. You guys, I feel like it'd be so nice to have a plant business, because you could easily buy like the chunkiest of chunkiest stuff, and just it'll be a tax write-off. Of course, if you use it for like your business, you know, but it would just be cool. And then this is sort of how I'll do it, and you guys can see the strap right here. Hopefully you guys can. And then I'll just fill that right up. And the new growth point isn't big enough to touch this moss yet, but it'll just be there whenever it is ready to touch it. It's still pretty small, if I'm being honest, but you know, it'll get there at some point. I'm also kind of scared to put too much because I don't want to like rot anything. So maybe we'll just leave like a little bit of a layer, but not too much. I'm honestly really surprised at how fast this thing freaking rooted up, if I'm being honest. And I'm not gonna leave a reservoir on this until I get completely comfortable with this plant, but look at it. It's so cute. It's all potted up now. Now we're gonna do the, the Splendid, or at least last time I struggled with the Splendid as far as like sizing up goes. I had it on a pole, it just didn't really size up like I wanted it to. Let's do this. I also have another cutting that I want to pot up, which is in water. This thing has kind of been growing pretty mediocre roots in water. It was growing really nice roots for a long time in water, and then I just kind of started to neglect it. And so it's not the plant's fault, it's sort of mine, just for not giving it those conditions that it wants. I'm really excited though to get this in soil. I feel like I've seen a lot of people's Splendids thrive in soil. And so it kind of makes me excited to see how this grows. Oh my god, this actually has really good roots. From like what I could see outside of the vessel, I felt like it had the poopiest roots ever. And now like seeing how like intricate this root system is, it honestly makes me feel really good. But you guys can see, this is the one that was in water for a while, and this is one that I moved upon. Hopefully this thing does well in soil. I mean, it does have some new root tips, so I'm not too doubtful of this cutting. I'm planning on putting it in here. Honestly, judging by the roots, I feel like this might be too small. We'll see. Hopefully that cutting grows into it though. It's kind of a little sketchy. Okay, so I finished rinsing that off. Now we're gonna pot it up. And I'm gonna have another vessel for a no drainage plant, especially a small one. Those are always the score. I feel like I'm constantly running out of them. Out of like any vessel in general, I'm just like always left with none, even after I feel like I've bought a bunch. Here, let's see if I put this in here. Yeah, no, we need a taller pole. Okay. I have a lot of like smaller acetate pieces in this just because I'm constantly cutting up new poles, and I'm always gonna try and refrain from doing that just because it's annoying to have to deal with so much acetate. And I also want to like I also want to waste as least plastic as possible. Why is that such a tongue twister? Yeah, so I don't want to waste too much plastic, so I'm always like trying to keep up with the okay, yeah, this should be good actually, I think. I'm always trying to keep up with like my plastic use. Also recently I've been thinking about doing a wish list plant video again, just because I feel like my wish list has changed so much. Like I feel like I've gotten into so many more genera and just like a lot different plants. I feel like mostly right now on my wish list are like anthuriums and like plants that I really cannot attain, or like just don't feel comfortable attaining right now. So they're just kind of like on the back burner. But there's like some orchids that are on my wish list, and just like some I think some Ripsalis as well. I feel like I've definitely found interest in a lot more like just really cool plants that I find that I enjoy. Like there's actually a begonia that I'm really into. It's called like a black velvet begonia. It's not the black mamba, which a lot of people post, and the black mamba has like a swirl in the center. No, the black velvet begonia is literally just like, it has a sinus, it doesn't have like the whole swirl, and it's just a really pretty plant. We actually have it at my job, but I've just been like refraining myself. I feel like I've really been trying to control my plant hobby stuff. I'm trying to avoid calling it what it is, but yeah, I'm really trying to avoid spending on plants, just because right now I feel like I really enjoy what's in my collection. Like I feel really content, but I also have some plants that I'm sort of like on the watch for. Again, like I said before, a lot of anthuriums. I feel like the only person that I'm willing to buy anthuriums from is Plant Care, and the only reason I say this, or maybe even like Bunny on Instagram, the only reason I say this is because both of these people grow their anthuriums out in ambient conditions. So I'm not bringing in a plant that stresses me out. I'm bringing in a plant that I can put out in like my normal conditions with full confidence that it'll thrive. And so it really just like makes me feel a lot better and less stressed about a new plant that I'm getting. I've ordered twice from Plant Care, and any time that I've like received something, I've never had an issue with. Like, I think the only one that I had an issue with was like my wavy no ID, which it was literally sitting outside for like almost a full day in like the hot ass sun. So I do not blame it. I'm like completely okay with what I got. I'm just like, okay, I get you. Like, you had your fit, but now it's like literally just growing like a dream. And so yeah, he's definitely one person that I'm always like looking out for his restocks, because I don't know, I feel a lot better about the fact that my plants are like growing in such a way that I also feel really appreciative of. Like, I appreciate the fact that they grow in ambient conditions, because I'm just like, again, just a lot more confident in my ability to grow that out. But yeah, on my wish list I have a lot of anthurium. Not a lot, but like I want to say like at least 3 anthurium. There is, well, no, actually that is not true. There is a lot of like Cartel Dawn plants that I'm like really just like appreciative of, like the Goliath. I think Bigfoot is also one. I want to say some of his Pappy plants as well, like some of his Pappy, I don't want to say they're hybrids, but they're definitely not like full papilliminum. I feel like I'm not even saying that right. Every anthurium that claims to be like, oh, this is actually perfect, oh my god. I hate making straps, so this is just like a win-win. And this is probably gonna have to be moved. Actually, maybe I can move it near my propagation corner. Oh wait, I didn't even strap you in. Come on kids, get your seatbelts on. Oh my god, I really hope this Splendid freaking makes it, just because of how crazy this one is growing. Oh my god. But yeah, I have I think I want to say I have like 2 orchids on my wish list. Also a lot of pinguicula. And then again, those anthuriums. I would say like my number 1 anthurium right now is like a luxuriance cross. I feel like any luxuriance cross, as long as it's a velvet leaf plant, like a papilliminum crossed with a luxuriance, would be like my dream right there. I really want a dark phoenix. And just like, I already have Ace of Spades cross, like my wavy no ID. I'm pretty positive is an Ace of Spades. Ace of Spades, am I saying that right? Yes. AOS? Yes. Russo Plant Care has a blue Ace of Spades that is like crossed with like a mag. So it's like a mag crossed with Ace of Spades crossed with a magnificum. So it's like double mag with some Ace of Spades in there. And I really freaking enjoy that plant. Like, you guys have no idea. I have like slowly started to fall in love with it, and I will pop in some pictures of like what that plant looks like. I really enjoy the way that the veination starts to like fade out at the end, and that is something that I never thought I would enjoy. Especially like, I don't enjoy the Ace of Spades. No, it's the King of Spades. The King of Spades I do not enjoy on its own. I have heard that it's a lot better in person though, so we'll see. I'm not sure how I completely feel about that. Maybe, actually, I think I have seen that plant in person, but it was like a really long time ago at like PLHC, so I don't really recall how I felt about it then. But yeah, so it is a Ace of Spades crossed with like a magnificum. This thing looks like a freaking mummy, but it's okay. You're gonna be a big plant that looks like a mummy. So, oh man, I'm so excited to freaking get this on a pole. I have been wanting to do this for so freaking long. Can I just like, yes, perfect. Oh my god, I'm so happy I kept these straps. I should actually start to label my straps. That would be such a cool idea, actually. Just to like engrave something or like write something on them, so I know that they go with a specific pole, because I swear I make so many poles and then I end up taking the plants off of those poles, and then I'm stuck with like a whole bunch of straps that don't fit every single pole. So it's a dilemma. Oh man, this is gonna be one of those weird poles. Y'all, I can't let myself do this. I absolutely hate when poles do this, okay? It starts out really wide, and it slowly gets smaller and smaller as it goes up. It's like, even though I kind of did it to myself, but yeah, I do that when I get freaking lazy, and then here we are. So, but yeah, I've recently seen like Cartel Dawn's like Velvet Mask Anthurium. I feel feel like that one's really, or is it the red spider? I don't remember which one it is, but it's either the velvet mask or the red spider, or a combination of both. The shape on it is really hard for me to get used to. I enjoy the velvetiness, I enjoy the like darkness, the deepness, but the shape is like, ugh. It took me a long time to get used to the Forgetii, you guys. Like, I feel like I'm just now starting to get warmed up to the Forgetii. Oh man, but that plant like really just like, it's like a Forgetii on steroids, I swear. So yeah, I've really just been like eyeing things here and there. Cartel Dawn also has some really good deals for anthurium, like compared to what I've seen other people sell like anthuriums for. And Russo Plant Care. Russo Plant Care also has some really inexpensive anthuriums if you guys are looking to get into anthuriums. This is not sponsored whatsoever, by the way. I don't even think he like knows who I am or like my channel or whatever. But yeah, he is a really great person that I would recommend to get from if you're starting out with anthuriums. Not Cartel Dawn, but Russo Plant Care. Cartel Dawn I've never ordered from, so I can't even attest to them. From what I know, you're sort of like importing from him. Like, they grow in like Indonesia, I believe, and then I think they have like not stations, but they have like bases here in the States where they import to, and then you can like go pick it up, or like they will ship they'll ship to that base, and then that base will ship to you, I think. Don't quote me on this because I have never ordered from Cartel Dawn. I don't know. I've only heard of and seen other people order from them. Yeah, not exactly sure how his situation works. Also, if you are looking to get into anthuriums, the first anthurium that I would recommend that you get is the Pallidiflorum. I actually have that one. This plant has been so easy. Like, from the moment that I imported it, it has been easy. Recently I have kind of struggled with it, and I did struggle with it, but I feel like it was because of the rooting medium or like the substrate that I had it in. So do not count that, or like, you know, that is not something that's guaranteed to happen to you guys, because I've also heard Alice say that it's a really easy plant to acclimate and stuff like that. All right, now to fill this pole. Okay, I believe this is the last thing we're doing before I end off this video. I feel really good about this, honestly. Yeah, so let me know if you guys would want to see like an updated wish list plant video, because I feel like it has changed a lot, and I have gotten quite a lot of wish list plants in 2023. So like, I have already gotten quite a few from that, you know, from this beginning portion of 2023. And so I already feel like really excited, and I feel like I feel like my taste in general is really, it's really particular. That was not a good time, but I feel like my taste in plants is really particular, and I really focus since the beginning, honestly. I've always wanted to curate a collection that had really unique plants, and not necessarily unique plants because that isn't always my focus. My focus is always to literally just find a plant that I enjoy and grow it. It's not necessarily to grow it to its potential or to grow it big. It's literally just to grow it in a way that is aesthetically pleasing to me and in a way that I enjoy it. And whether that is, you know, in a kokedama or in like a vessel that I really enjoy, it's literally always been to simply just enjoy my collection. And I feel like that's really helped me to curate a collection that I feel like is really unique and really filled with so much joy, and like, whether that is care or like just their displays. Like, one plant, I can think of at least 3 plants that I just absolutely adore their displays, and like, oh my god, as I'm like thinking about it, it just like makes me get emotional. Not like as in like tear, but it just like fills me up so much, because I feel like I've truly dedicated my collection to just pure happiness, pure bliss, and I feel like it's truly shown in my collection. Like, the display that I have my Stephania suberosa in, and then same with like my why do I always forget the name of this plant? Oh, what the heck is your name? I'm gonna pop in a freaking, oh my god, I'm so mad at myself. I always forget the name of this plant, and I don't know why. And then my micans is in such a beautiful display as well. Ooh, my Maranta, my variegated Maranta, my sugar vine also, my Dracaena is also, like, literally I can, the list goes on. You guys get the point. I feel like I've just really focused on creating and curating a collection that I really love, and whether that be a trendy plant, I feel like I don't try and focus on like mainly a certain genus or a certain type of plant or a certain look of a plant. Literally, if I see the plant and I enjoy it, I want it, and that's it. Like, I don't care if it's not trending, or I don't care if it's like the most viewed thing on Instagram. Like, it's not about that for me. It never has been. And I feel like, if anything, seeing a plant get popular makes me turn away from it and like not want it. Like the Discoria Discolor, when I first saw it, I was kind of like, what the heck is that? And then I just slowly started to like it, and then it really got popular, and then I was like, okay, maybe I don't want it anymore. It's not that I'm trying to be something that everyone else isn't, or like I'm not trying to have something that no one else has. It's more so like getting tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. And it's like, at that point, I don't even need to own the plant to experience it, because I've already seen so many people like post about it and like enjoy it for themselves, that I just kind of feed off of that. And then I'm like, okay, like that scratches itched. And so yeah, I hope that makes sense. It's not that I'm like, I don't know, trying to be like, again, just having different plants that other people aren't, because I have a lot of plants that a lot of people have, like my micans, the Splendid, a lot of people have Dracaenas and like the Maranta and stuff like that, and like the Pallitiflorum. Like, it's not that I'm like looking for that uniqueness or like trying to stand out. It's more so, again, just really focusing on how I feel about my plants and feeding off of that, and really just enjoying what I enjoy and not enjoying what I don't enjoy. I feel like the negative that comes with this is if I had to get rid of a plant, and I've actually thought about this, because like I've had like we've had like trades near us, and like or not trades, what is it called, plant swaps. We've had plant swaps near us, and every time that one comes up, I'm like, what the heck am I gonna trade? Like, I don't want to cut any of my plants. I don't want to give away any of my cuttings. Like, I don't feel like chopping anything. I really don't want to, like, I don't want to give away something to get something that I just don't even know what is gonna be there. So it's just like, I don't end up going, because I don't have anything to give, or I don't have anything to chop up to give and receive something else. And so the only plant in my collection right now that I fear, two plants maybe, the only two plants that I would say in my collection that I am like kind of like okay with not having in my collection would be my Splash Gordon and my Marble Queen Pothos. I feel like those two plants are definitely at the end of, like, they're on the tail of this whole collection, because I'm just kind of like, ugh. Like, I don't really talk about them. I don't really feature them. I feel like the reason that the Splash Gordon is on there is just because, dude, that thing is such a slow grower, and it's so thirsty. Like, I have been watering that plant at least once a week, and it like has only given me like two leaves in this whole entire season. 2 leaves. And I'm just kind of like, dude, seriously, like, all that effort for what? Like, I don't feel like I'm getting anything out of it. And so I've kind of just like really not paid attention to that plant, and just kind of like, again, neglected it. Not neglected it, but just like, it's gone to the tail end of my collection, because I'm just like, I don't know what you're doing here, bud, but you gotta like move along, you know? All of this to say, let me know if you guys want a wish list plant video update. And I feel like I don't even really like, I feel like I subconsciously think of what's on my wish list. Like, I don't even write anything down now. I do have a wish list like note in my phone or whatever, but it's not really updated. So yeah, maybe it would be good, because it's been like almost like halfway through the year, so maybe I could do like an updated one, but I don't know if that'd be too late to be like, oh yeah, these are my like new wish list plants, and then like at the end of the summer or at the end of the year just be like, hey, I got these ones. Or maybe I could just do like an updated wish list plant video to like mention what plants I've gotten that are on that wish list, or like new plants that I've received that were sort of making it onto that list. I feel like I haven't felt this good about a plant chores in a really long time. I feel like lately I have been struggling to put a plant chores together that I like truly feel good about and happy about and confident about, and this one is one that I feel proud of. Oh my god. Lord, please. Oh. I didn't have my mic plugged in that whole time. I'm sorry, you guys. I hope that audio wasn't too bad. I feel so dumb. Like, I literally just look down and I see my freaking cable hanging down. That's great. That's awesome. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this despite the fact. Thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed.